Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the 2024 Black Friday deals have arrived. They are now in game. I waited a day to do this because there was just too many variables and unknown information with the tier 3 selectors and the tier 4 selectors and things like that. So I wanted to wait until you guys could see everything in order to, give you guys the best possible advice. Don't feel FOMO that you have to buy things because other people are buying things. Spend responsibly. Look into your finances, make sure you have a handle on your spending habits, and don't allocate more than maybe 5% of what you're making a month to your entertainment budget. Have a budget for your entertainment. There's nothing wrong with this being your form of entertainment, but at least know how much you're spending relative to how much you're making, so that everything stays under control, so that you don't end up in debt, credit cards, etc., bills that more than you can handle. Now, I'm not going to go over the Black Friday events. I'll make separate videos for those. If you're confused about the secret shop, you can refer to my video from last year or the year before that, but I will have a video breaking that down for you. But it's essentially the same in terms of like the macro strategy for the secret shop. There's a new thing called the Black Friday Special Pass, which we'll get to later. And then we have this tier 4 or tier 3 upgrade reduction event. This is like a free event. You don't have to spend any money to participate in this, but you can only choose one. And I think it's very good, and I'll make a separate video on that, but it's just too much information to pump into one video. So this is going to be just about the sales, which I know is kind of like whales, not whales only, but like spenders only. But if you do have any money that you can spend on the game, now is pretty much the best time to spend money on the game because of the deals. Now, you can watch this video, and I would appreciate it if you do, but for those of you who just want the raw data, it is in the mega guides. So I've made this sheet here with a value ranking, my subjective personal value ranking out of 10, 10 being the best, the highest value, 0 being the worst, the least value. And then I've listed the cost in Canadian dollars. You have to convert it to your currency, the number of crystals that you can find in the pack, and just like a rough description of the items you can find, as well as the name, as well as the place where you can find this item. There's actually more items than last year, so there's quite a bit to get to here. And so we're just going to dive in with that. But yeah, you can find this on the mega guides. If you don't know what the mega guides are, okay, the mega guides are being used. Okay, anyways. So the mega guides is like where the tier list is, the champion building guide, etc. The Black Friday deals will be right next to the tier list on the next tab over, and you can find the tabs down at the bottom. So starting off with the very first line here, when you open up the shop, you're going to get the Black Friday special golden opportunity. I don't know why they call it that. It's kind of cringe. But genuinely, these are some of the best packs in the game. There's only 4 here, but the first 2 on the far left, the 200% bonus crystal pack and the 365, the year-long Stark Stash, these are basically the best items in the game in terms of crystal per dollar. Now, crystals may not be the only thing that you find valuable in this game. You're thinking, I need premium cards, I need CTPs, whatever. Yes, but you can always convert crystals into those things when you're gambling or when you're doing legendary battles or whatever, So crystals are really like the de facto GOAT, and these are the best, bang for your buck. The dollar to crystal ratio is really how we look at these things. And so getting 3,300 crystals for $14 is immense value, comparable to a Stark Stash. And you can just, boom, get that all in one shot instead of waiting a month to collect it. This as well, again, you get 50 crystals every single day for a year. So you get over 20,000 crystals for $40. Just so that you guys have a comparable example. So that's 21,000 crystals for $40. Even during the anniversary and Black Friday, when they give you these discounts here, you can only get what is 19,000 crystals, which is this pack right here. It's just crystals. 19,000 crystals is $100 more. So this pack, which is like raw crystals, should be a lot of crystals, right? This is going to give you 2,000 crystals less for $100 more. So there's really no way other than just saying 10 out of 10 for those 2 deals there, the Black Friday 365 crystal bundle and the 200% off. And that's why they're 10 out of 10s, because it's just like giga crystals. That's all it is. That's all you get. You just get tons and tons and tons of crystals. And that's dope. That's dope. You also have the Black Friday crafted premium card pack. This is a brand new item. We've never seen this before for Black Friday. It's a little bit more expensive at $28, and you don't get that many crystals. You only get 1,000, but remember, 1,000 is worth about $10 to $15. But what you do get is you get 1,000 card crafting cubes, and you get one random. It is random. You don't get to choose, but you get one random crafted premium card. So this represents a premium card, and it represents 30 regular mythic cards, as well as 10,000 card crafting cubes, because that is all of the materials that you need to fully craft a card. Now, I recognize that there are some bad cards in here, like Loki 1, Loki 2, Black Panther 35, Gwenpool, stuff like that. But there are also a lot of really good cards. And now they've added 2 cards. They added the Ghost Rider and they added the Zombies. These are both top tier cards for different game modes, right? PvP for this one, PvE for this one. But it basically, they increased the pool, but they also increased the number of good items that you could, like the number of good cards that you can drop. So you have at least a 50% chance to get a good card, which is obviously not as good as packs that guarantee you something. And obviously it's not for everybody because there's RNG involved. But yeah, I still think it's good. But it's not quite as good. So I gave it a 9. I'd probably actually adjust that to an 8 because of the RNG involved. But yeah, it is good. And then the last one here that I'm covering up is the Black Friday Premium Character Selector. So this one is $14. It's 1,000 crystals, which is already really good. And then you get a premium tier 2 selector. So you can take a look at some of these characters. The first 2 lines, or almost the first 3 lines, you can actually farm them from either epic quests or dimension missions. So just keep that in mind. Actually, more than the first 3 lines, more first like 4 or 5 lines. There's not like that many tremendously good characters here that you need to get, but there are some good ones here. It's a good pack in terms of the value because you get the premium character and you get 1,000 crystals. It would be a lot worse if you didn't get the crystals. I still value this as like an 8 out of 10. And it does also devalue a lot of the other sales you're going to see. But just, keep in mind that you can always just buy a bio subscription or an X-Gene subscription. And you can collect 30 bios a day and you can unlock a bunch of characters. And then you can just farm up tickets to get them to tier 2 that way. So there are this is a faster route, but it's only one character. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And then we have the character growth Black Friday specials. These are more confusing, unfortunately, and generally speaking, they're low value. So if you just want like a general overview, that's what it is. First, you have the Black Friday tier 4 relay selector. So this looks good because you get tier 4 characters. And honestly, I might end up buying it. I have to do the math on what I want, but it is overpriced. It's definitely overpriced because the first one, you only get 1,500 crystals and it costs $140. And these are the tier 4s that you can choose from. In my case, really the only tier 4s worth choosing at the moment are like Miles, Captain Marvel, Sharon Rogers, and Storm. So there are still some good options for me. But if you got Ghost Rider's uniform and you don't have him tier 4, if you got Spider-Man's uniform, you don't have him tier 4, or Thor or something like that, there are Venom even, there are better options out there, right? But I already have all those characters tier 4. You certainly don't want to choose this if you have all of these characters tier 4 already. They're not going to be adding characters to this list. The next step, if you buy the first step, it gives you basically the same thing, slightly more, but this, essentially the same thing for half the price. So you can sort of look at it. If you do the math and you add them both together, for me it's 140 plus 70, so it's 210 divided by 2, so it's $105 on average per tier 4. That's technically a good deal, but it's more expensive now because they've been giving out more tier 4 materials, and it's going to continue that way. So the price of a tier 4 is going to continue to drop. So I kind of think that this is too expensive. Also, the second list is the same as the first. Again, there are some good options here, but there's also some really bad options like Ant-Man, like Moon Knight, like Black Panther, like Black Widow. So just be careful and choose carefully. And then the third step is $100, and you get not very much stuff other than the tier 4 mega ticket. Now, the tier 4 mega ticket is good because it'll allow you to take any tier 3 or transcended and immediately tier 4 them. It's a mega ticket, right? But only for the native tier 1 characters. It's not going to work on Null. It's not going to work on Apocalypse or Doom or Mr. Fantastic, but it'll work on Invisible Woman, etc. So this is pretty good. I wish they had given this ticket out, more frequently and not at the last step of a thing. But it is what it is. Overall, I give this like a 6 out of 10. It's all right value for if you just want to get like a lot of tier 4s, but it's still kind of expensive. These two sales are pretty confusing. They are 2 different sales that you can see there, and then if you buy them both in one shot, you get a 26% discount. These are generally bad. They're tier 3 selectors and tier 4 selectors. Now, there are a lot of characters to choose. There's like more characters to choose from, and one of them is a premium selector. But again, a lot of these characters are not good until they get their tier 4s. Like that entire last 2 rows, these characters are all bad. Wenwu, like Polaris is just a support, but no one is using Omega Red, Sylvie, or Cassandra for any content whatsoever. No one is even using Kitty Pryde's leadership. Even Magic, who has a seasonal uniform, is not good. So, you know, there's just a lot of duds here. And the only characters that are really like meta here is Luna, but you have to have her seasonal uniform. So if you don't have it, there's just no point at all. So I find these very low value. I also find them confusing for the consumer. I don't really like them personally. Same thing for the Transcendent one. You get a regular Transcendent selector, and then you get a premium selector. Again, there are some good support characters in here, like Valkyrie, Dazzler, but otherwise there's like a lot of clunkers, a lot of, like, there's very few tier 4s as well. There's Weapon Hex, seasonal uniform. There's Agent Venom, who's not even that good. And then there's Echo. You know, it's kind of bad. Yeah, they need to, this is bad. So I don't like these ones. Then we have the Native Hero tier 3 upgrade pack. So this is like, if you really want to upgrade Null like really fast, you can, or maybe not Null exactly, because he's a native tier 3, but if like a native tier 2, if you want to like jump in and max out Doom really fast, all of these tickets, they're premium tickets, so they can work on native tier 2 and native tier 3 characters. You have a superior first potential realization ticket. So again, this is sort of aimed at players who are coming back to the game and they really want to max out like an Apocalypse or a Doom or a native tier 2 hero. The best thing about it, honestly, is the 5-star artifact selector, because you can choose any artifact in the game right now. And I think as of right now, we have 208 artifacts in the game. So we're almost at the end, right? There's only like 70 or 60 characters left that don't have an artifact. But I still think it's kind of a bad sale. And then the tier 3 growth pack. This is a bunch of tier 3 materials, which seems like a lot. You're like, whoa, 3,000. This is absolutely terrible. Please do not get baited. 3,000 crystals is nice, but this is still way too expensive. Tier 3 materials are super easy to farm. Just do story mode farming for fragments. Yeah, I think this whole page is overpriced and it's kind of bad. Then the special deals here. These are a little bit more interesting, but very expensive. You have the 8-step Black Friday relay. The first 3 steps are pretty garbage, so you basically just have to burn like $50 or $60. Then you start getting not even that good of a, not honestly, the next step is, even the 4th step is not very good. A Transcendent selector is whatever. The 5th step is really where it starts to get good, because you get a tier 3 mega ticket and you get a second potential ticket for free, essentially. Keep in mind, this second potential ticket is not a superior, so it doesn't work on Null and stuff like that, but it works on everybody else, like native tier 1s. Then you get a superior second potential realization ticket. So that's the difference between these 2 tickets. That one will work on Null and other ones. This step 6 is all right. It's not great. It's all right. It's not bad. Step 7 is obviously a lot better, because you're getting more expensive now and you're so deep into the relay that yeah, that's kind of the case. And you get a 6-star artifact selector, which is nice, and you get a P card selector with the new cards, which is very nice again. But it's very expensive. You have to spend a lot to get there. And then the last step here that my camera is hiding is a tier 4 ticket for 99 crystals. So it's basically free. It's free, and it's a tier 4 ticket. However, this tier 4 ticket's a little bit misleading, because 1, it's not going to work on native tier 2s or native tier 3s. So it's not going to work on Null. It's not going to work on, you know, Thanos, etc. Secondly, this only works when the character's gears are already at 30. So the bulk of the character's cost is actually the gears. So this ticket is actually worthless. So if you were thinking of buying the relay because you think step 8 is really good, think again. It's actually really bad. The step 8 anyways. I think it should have been a mega tier 4 ticket. Then we have this Black Friday 9-year anniversary pack. This is essentially the same as last year. It's not bad. It's got a tier 3 material selector. It's got a lot of materials and a lot of crystals. And then the next step has a CTP selector, a 5-star artifact selector. Like, this is honestly not bad. It's not sexy. These are not like sexy sales, but they're honestly not bad at all. And then we have the comic card crafting set. This is basically half the price of last year's version with half the materials. There were 4 P cards last time. Now there's 2. It was $140 last time. Now it's $70. This is just kind of whatever. It's not very good. We have this. It's absolutely garbage. If you need to know why, I can explain it on Discord, but this is just so terrible. Please don't buy this. And then we have these gift boxes. These are RNG boxes. I wouldn't buy these if I were you. You do get Black Friday tokens, but the Black Friday tokens are just not worth it unless you have a large volume of them, so I would just skip. Then for the CTP and card category, they split up all of the reforging chests. I know a lot of whales in high-end alliances like my own, or like Nemesis, enjoy these because they have a chance to get a brilliant CTP. I hate them. I think they're really bad, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I think you either get really lucky or you get really unlucky, and I don't like those odds for $70 a pop. It's crazy. I don't like it. And then we have all of the card collection sets. So you get the full Baby Spidey set, you get the full Uncanny Avengers set, you get the full Gwenpool set, you get the full Avengers Origins set. These are okay, to be honest, because you get so many crystals, right? If you think about it, 5,500 crystals normally is about $50. So you're just paying the last $20 to get a full 5 mythic cards. That's not very good, but it's not very bad either. If you need those, if you need like one of the cards for your set specifically, and if you need, you know, the cards, the other mythic cards for rerolls. And then we have the surprise shop. This one's a little bit confusing. I think this rerolls every day. I also don't know if this is the same for all players. I think it should be the same for all players, but mine says that there's a CTP selector including Liberation for $14, and then a tier 2 selector for 100 crystals. The CTP selector is terrible. $14 for a CTP is super overpriced, so that's just a skip. The only one that I think is worth it is if you absolutely want to get the Liberation. Then it might be worth it, but otherwise I think $14 is way too much. And then the tier 2 selector is good for players who need it. Obviously for like veterans and players that have their accounts maxed, this is useless. Even for the bios, honestly, 300 bios or whatever, 400 bios for 100 crystals is not even that good. So yeah, I think it's not very good. And then we have the daily mini shop. I'll just rapid fire run through my rankings here. The crystals are good. The selectors are bad. The energy is very good. I am an energy slut now. The boost points are okay. The gold is terrible. The emblem enhancement kits are bad unless you're really into emblems. Then they're actually pretty good because it's like a day's worth for $1. The tier 2 materials are bad. The card crafting cubes are bad. The tier 3 materials are bad. The books are bad. And then the tier 4 materials are actually decent. It's like a day's worth, a little bit more than a day's worth for $4. If you're just on the cusp of tier 4ing a character, buying it once or twice is fine. But if you need to do the math on, you know, how much you're paying, just add a 0. So instead of $3.99, it's now $39.99. So it's $40. Would you pay $40 for 2,250 Soul of the Faltine, knowing that you need about double that to tier 4 a character? So would I pay $80 just to have the tier 4 materials? No, right? Because I wasn't even going to pay that much for the this tier 4 pack, right? That had all those tier 4s. This one here, this selector relay. So no, you wouldn't do that. So actually, upon further consideration, the tier 4 materials are terrible. I had them ranked. You can see the rankings here. I had them, so I had the crystals ranked at a 10 out of 10 because it's 300 crystals for $1.40. And then I had the tier 4 materials ranked as a 4, but I'm actually going to amend that, and they're all 0s. Most of the mini shop is terrible, to be honest. Last but not least, I want to just briefly touch on the special battle pass. There's like a Black Friday battle pass. It's very confusing because it looks just like our battle pass that we get normally, but it's an additional battle pass. So you have the regular battle pass, the future pass here. This has not changed. It's the same. It hasn't reset your progress. And then you have the Black Friday special pass. So future pass, special pass, different but same in the sense that when you do challenges during the day, you get XP, and then you level up that XP, and then you move along the track, and then you get rewards. The free rewards are nice, including the tier 3 selector, and I'll have a video breaking down all the characters from that soon. The free rewards are nice. You get a Odin's Blessing, you get tier 3 and tier 4 materials, and then at the end you get a random CTP. So everybody gets a free random CTP, free Odin's Blessing, tier 3, tier 4 materials, and tier 3 selector. That's great. Then if you spend $40, I thought it was like 20, it's $40, you get the special track. Now the special track has some tier 4 materials. It has some emblem data and some emblem kits. It also has a random heroic to mythic emblem box, and then it has a bit of crystal refunds. This shit is never gonna load, oh lord. The big thing about it is at the very end, there are the emblems that you can get and the chances. At the very end of the special track, you have a CTP chest that can have a random mythic, or sorry, not mythic, mighty or brilliant CTP, and you only have these 5 CTPs available. This is pretty good. $40 is still kind of a lot. I think it's all right. I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I think it's good. $40 is kind of a lot. I wish it was like $30. Then it would be an easy, recommend. For $40, it's a little bit overpriced, but it's still $40 for a chance at a brilliant versus $70 as the baseline costs go for all of the other packs. Just keep in mind as well for Black Friday that one of the best things that you can do in terms of just value for your dollar is to just buy raw crystals, because there is a bonus on the number of crystals that you get. There's like a crystal bonus. You can just buy raw crystals and then either save those up during the year, or use them to pull for CTPs, comic cards, stuff like that. There is a thing here that explains this, the crystal 50% bonus distribution event. There's a purchase limit of 3, and you can see normally when you buy the different packs, they give this many crystals, but now during this event specifically for the next 2 weeks, they give like almost double the number of crystals, right? It's not exactly double, it's like whatever, 70% more crystals. So almost 20,000 crystals for $100 versus the usual 13,000. It's pretty good. And then you have the if you go here and you go here, this is on sale, so you can see it's $405 instead of $675. And it features the pity now, which is really, really nice. And this is on for the next 2 weeks. So you have a lot of time to save up crystals, and you have a lot of time to use them if you want. This is the same for like everything. This is on sale. The only thing that's not on sale is the emblem chest. Oh no, the emblem chest is on sale, but they don't have any other special sales for the emblems. But yeah, everything else is on sale as well. I think artifacts are on sale as well, 1 to 6 star. Just make sure you don't accidentally get the wrong artifact chest, because it is on sale as well. But this chest can only drop 1 to 4 star artifacts. It's kind of mean that they keep this one active, but you want to click the one with the big face, where you can see Green Goblin and Thanos and stuff. You don't want to click the one next to it, because you don't have any chance of getting 5-star, 6-star artifacts. The other rewards are exactly the same. You still get the pity tokens, yada, yada, yada. But this one actually has the chance to get the 5-star and 6-star artifacts. So it's obviously way better. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you like it. If you enjoy the content, spend responsibly, spend wisely. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.